Howdy, Immortalium here, and today I thought it might be interesting to discuss anime and their relationship to the Oscars. So to start off, as I'm sure most of you are well aware of, in the past week, as of the uploading of this video, the Academy Awards were held in America to honor the best films of 2020. And the world kind of gave a collective shrug to the awards. The TV ratings were incredibly poor for the Oscars. And it'll be interesting to see if the Oscars try to reform themselves more in the future. But as a fan of animation, as well as films I should say, I felt very little motivation, if any at all, to actually watch the Oscars, and so I didn't. For instance, let's take the Best Animated Feature category. Many of the films chosen are very typical mainstream Hollywood films, and even though there might have been like one or two exceptions in that, there was never really any chance of them actually winning the award. It was always going to go to one of those Pixar movies. So I didn't feel much motivation or excitement with regards to the Best Animated Feature category itself. The time that I did feel a little bit of excitement for the Best Animated Feature category was when I read the shortlist for films that could have been nominated for Best Animated Feature. There was over 30 films submitted, and about 6 of those were anime films. If you want to know which anime films had a chance of being nominated for the Best Animated Feature category, there were Demon Slayer Mugen Train, Earwig and the Witch, Lupin III the First, Ongaku or Sound, Ride Your Wave, and A Whisker Away. So those 6 films were submitted to the Academy Award and had a chance of getting nominated, but none of them did, which I think is unfortunate. I would love to have seen at least one of those films get nominated. But I've spent a lot of time already discussing the Best Animated Feature category, but it's interesting to note that the relationship of anime to the Oscars actually begins before even the Best Animated Feature category was a thing. For the category of Best International Film, which I believe used to be called Best Foreign Language Film, Japan has actually submitted 3 anime films in the past to that category. Those films being the Studio Ghibli films Pompoko in 1994 and Princess Mononoke in 1997, and the Makoto Shinkai film Weathering with You in 2019. Now, none of those films ultimately got nominated for the award, but I do think it's still very interesting to take a look at those films and think to yourself that Japan believed those films to be exemplary examples of the Japanese film industry, amongst the best Japanese films to be submitted for that year, and ultimately to be their choice for Best Foreign Language Film / Best International Film. So I find that quite fascinating. The next category I want to take a look at is Best Animated Short Film. Now, Best Animated Short Film has been around for a very, very long time, in contrast to Best Animated Feature. And actually I became quite familiar with this category because I was watching through the Looney Tunes Golden Collection recently, and many of the shorts in that had been nominated / won that award before. However, when it comes to anime at this particular category, their history with this category is actually relatively recent. As far as I can tell, only 3 anime short films have ever been nominated for that category. Those films being Mountainhead in 2002, the amusingly named La Maison en Petits Cubes, which was nominated for the award in 2008, but interestingly actually did win that category, which is excellent of course, and finally Possessions in 2013. So despite how long that category has existed, as far as I can tell, anime's relationship to it is relatively recent. Now, if you are aware of more anime films that have been nominated for that category that I have not mentioned, I am unaware of it, and so I would love you to mention it in the comments below. But as far as I can tell, those are the 3 films that have been nominated, and in one case won the award. And now, of course, to get to the real meat of it, the category that anime fans tend to look for at the Oscars, Best Animated Feature. Now, Best Animated Feature is a relatively recent category. I believe it first ran in 2001. And with regards to anime's history with it, I'm going to be looking at wins and nominations. And to start off, actually a very strong first entry here, Spirited Away at the second Best Animated Feature ceremony actually ended up winning the award. Which was a massive boon to both the medium of anime, to Studio Ghibli, to Hayao Miyazaki himself. It was a really, really big deal when Spirited Away won that category. Since then, the majority of anime films that have been nominated for the award have been Studio Ghibli films, those being Howl's Moving Castle in 2005, The Wind Rises in 2013, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya in 2014, When Marnie Was There in 2015, and the only non-Studio Ghibli anime film to have been nominated for Best Animated Feature is Mirai in 2018, that being the Mamoru Hosoda film. And while it may seem nice that there are anime films getting nominated for the award every so often, I do think it is a shame that the focus was predominantly on Studio Ghibli, and so once Studio Ghibli stopped making movies, there was a very long gap for other anime films being nominated. In fact, only one anime film since the last Studio Ghibli film, When Marnie Was There, and of course excluding the modern Earwig and the Witch, that being Mirai. So while I find it interesting, I do think it is a shame that anime, and to be honest, a lot of other non-English language animated films don't do that well at the American Oscars. Now, with regards to why I even care in the first place, I have to say, first of all, that I'm not a fan of the Oscars in the modern day. I think there's a lot of ineptitude surrounding a lot of the awards, a lot of politics. And one of the best examples of ineptitude here is actually the category itself of Best Animated Feature. It has become very clear that a lot of the people voting for the category have not only not seen all of the films that have been nominated, but also do not care that much about animation as a storytelling medium. And it's quite often a case that they will simply vote for the movie that has been marketed the most, or if they have children or friends who have seen that film and liked it, they might vote for that film anyway. And I do really hate that fact, the fact that animation as a storytelling medium is looked down, not only at the Academy Awards, but by many people the world over. But it is important to state that even though I and many other people no longer care about the Oscars, there are plenty of people out there who do. And when Spirited Away won that Oscar, there was a huge amount of interest from people in actually seeing Spirited Away. I distinctly remember my mother, who was trying to get me to watch more kind of critically acclaimed unusual films, around that time rented Spirited Away and got me to sit down and watch it. Now, of course, at the time, this being around 2002, 2003, I had no idea what anime was, but nonetheless I was quite fascinated by this film. And many years later, when I ended up in college, when I was talking to people about anime, one of the easiest films to bring up to people was Spirited Away. Even though Best Animated Feature is not really that popular of a category at the Oscars, the fact that Spirited Away won still meant that a lot of people that I talked to had actually seen that film specifically because it had won that Oscar. So I do want to state that there is still a lot of people out there who actually will watch films based on if they have won Oscars, and the amount of marketing, the amount of attention can be huge when a film wins this Oscar. And so that's why I would love to see anime, as well as other non-English language animated films, win Oscars at the Academy Awards, whether that be in Best Animated Feature, Best Animated Short Film, or even Best Film. Like, there have been only 3 animated films that have ever been nominated for Best Film, but that's besides the point. So that was my discussion on anime at the Oscars, giving a little bit of history about it, a bit of my own opinion on it. And I would love to hear, of course, your thoughts on the Oscars themselves. Did you watch it? Do you care that much about them? Do you see the marketing potential behind winning an Oscar? What are your thoughts on anime and non-English language animated films at the Oscars? Are you aware of any other anime films that I might not have mentioned that have been nominated or won a category at the Oscars? Leave all those and your opinions in the comments below. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and bye-bye.